Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey there, guys. Steve Roy here, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. I do appreciate the fact that you're here listening to what I have to say with all the noise that's out there, that you're taking your time out to listen to me. It means a lot. So thank you very much for that. We've done over 150 shows now. Still enjoying what I'm doing here. You guys have probably seen a transition a while back. I stopped having guests on. There was a few different reasons for that, but I found that this format works a little bit better, only because it just allows me to really talk about the stuff that's not really getting talked about. When I had guests on, it was great. I mean, it has a lot of great guests on, but I found it's just kind of surface stuff, and you couldn't really get into the real nitty-gritty of what's really kind of going on in most of our heads. So I felt like this was kind of a better format. So anyway, if you're listening to this and you're not part of one of our groups, I would strongly recommend that you apply. So we've got a free private Facebook group called the Fit Dad Base Camp. We've also have our private member program called the Fit Dad Nation Inner Circle, where we do all kinds of good stuff, including monthly challenges, and I do a lot of hands-on stuff in there with the guys. So two great places to get some accountability and some coaching. I wanted to talk about something, just a very kind of simple premise here, and I read this somewhere recently, and I want to talk about it because if you think about diet and exercise this way, I think it'll help you. And again, that's why I do this. I'm just trying to help you kind of find your way when it comes to getting healthier and staying there. Obviously, you guys know it's a very convoluted road. There's a lot of shit out there, and most of you, probably almost all of you, have been through some kind of program or diet in the past and have failed at it at some point. Because I think, honestly, this industry is set up for failure. It's not really setting us up for success. It's really setting us up for failure. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about is two simple things. One is exercise is not a punishment, and number two is diet and food is not a reward. So two very basic things, but I want to just dig in a little bit to each one. So not everybody loves training. Actually, a lot of people hate it. I've had clients that absolutely hated the gym, and that's okay. You don't have to be a gym rat. You don't have to go into a gym. You don't even have to lift heavy weights to get into shape. Does it make more sense to overload your muscles, break them down so they rebuild stronger, so you have more muscle tissue? Sure. But there are other ways to do it. Body weight training is one way. You just have to get a little more creative. But some of us, and I have had clients in the past that thought they had to do the exercise. They weren't thinking like, yeah, I get to do this exercise. I get to better my body. I get to be stronger. I get to be more flexible. I get to do more push-ups. It's like, fuck, I have to do this workout, and I don't want to work out. I hate working out. Okay, and if you're one of those people, you know what I'm talking about. And it's an important thing, because if you hate something like that, how long is it going to last? Not very long. The only reason that a lot of us show up to our jobs is because we literally need the income. But a lot of us show up to our job, we hate our jobs. I did it for, it was over 10 years. I hated, and I'm not using this word lightly, I fucking hated my job. But at the time, my wife didn't work. We had 2 little girls. I felt like I couldn't quit. I felt trapped. And it was horrible. And I was like, I have to go to work. I have to get up, and I have to do something I really, really dislike. But I did it anyway. Was I great at it? No. I think it's really hard to be great at something if you hate it. I honestly believe that if someone's going to succeed on a grand scale, you have to love it. You have to have a passion for it. I believe that. And so if you go into exercise, into a program, into changing your lifestyle to incorporate more movement, but you hate it, it's not going to work long term. Sure, you can grind it out for a while. You can push for a while. You can just suck it up for a while. But eventually, you're going to lose because you're going to eventually be steered towards the path of least resistance. We're hardwired to avoid shit that we don't like at this point, in our culture. So it's not going to work. And so my job as a coach isn't to say, well, suck it up and do it anyway because that's the only way. Because that, I'm not going to force someone into it. But at the end of the day, you have to move more. You have to exercise. It's a big part of getting healthy, right? The bigger piece of weight loss is diet, yes. But as far as overall health, general health, you're going to have to move more. You're going to have to exercise in some capacity. So I tell people, okay, if you hate the gym, that's okay. Number one is we don't go to the gym. Simple as that. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to join a gym. You don't have to be around other people. If you like it, I actually like the gym. I like being around other people. It works for me. But I've met so many people that just not into it. So your job is to find out what form of exercise you do like and then make that the focal point. Again, you don't have to be dragging around heavy kettlebells and doing heavy deadlifts and squats. That's ideal, yes, but not necessary. So some people, and I have clients that they just want to do jiu-jitsu. They want to take their jiu-jitsu classes. Some people love, and for the life of me, I can't understand why, they love running. I fucking hate running. I absolutely hate running. I think it's terrible for the body. I think it just breaks down everything in your body over time. I think it's a poor use of your time as far as burning calories and losing fat, but people love it. If you're a runner, you get the runner's high, do it, right? That's what I tell people. If you like it, sure. If you don't like it, don't do it. I just had a client, I've been working with him for a little while now, and when we first started, and he's a former athlete, and he first started, he said, I need to lose some weight. I'm going to start running. And I said, why? I said, do you like running? He said, no. I said, well, why would you run? He said, well, that's how you lose weight. I said, no, let's back it up here. And, and I explained what I just said, and he didn't realize that. He's like, oh, I guess I won't run then. I said, perfect. Don't need to run. What we're going to do some conditioning work that's going to replace what you would potentially burn with running, and we're going to be a lot less taxing on your body, and it's going to be a lot more time efficient. So let's just do that. But back to finding out what you want to do, it could be biking, it could be obstacle course races, it could be any kind of activity, sport, something that gets you moving, gets you working harder than you're normally used to, that pushes your body in some way. Some people absolutely love the class format for exercise, like Orange Theory Fitness. Some people, need that kind of group dynamic to keep them motivated and engaged, and it's okay too. Bottom line is you have to find something, and you do have to find something. Don't get me wrong. You have to find some form of exercise that you hopefully enjoy, but if you can't enjoy it, at least you can tolerate it, and it's not like, oh, fuck, I have to do this again. Because, again, that's not going to work. If you go into your workouts thinking it's punishment, you don't want to do it, you're trying to avoid it, it is not going to work. You have to find something else. Okay, you have to understand this principle. It's very simple, I understand, but even with all the information that's out there these days, people are still very misinformed. They think they have to go into the gym for an hour or more a day. They have to throw around all these heavy weights because that's what they see online. Not the case. I know people that have lost plenty of weight and become quite fit and healthy, and they haven't stepped into a gym. They haven't really lifted much weights. They do some calisthenics, some stretching, but they go outside and they do whatever, some kind of sport, some kind of activity. Nothing wrong with that. We have mountain bikes, we have road bikes, we have kayaks, we play all kinds of sports. I have medicine balls, I have sandbags, I have agility ladders, jump ropes, resistance bands, I already said sandbags, battle ropes. All of those things I have at my disposal because I like to mix it up and we have fun with it. Took my kids out a while back. They don't want to sit in the gym necessarily in the garage and train with weights. They want to have some fun, as most kids do, and a lot of adults are the same. So we just took out all that shit and we just took it out to a field and we made an obstacle course and made it fun for them. And then it wasn't oh, I got to go exercise. It was, we get to exercise, we get to go have some fun. Okay. That's what you have to do for yourself too. And again, trial and error. Just start looking at things that look interesting to you. There's no right or wrong answer, but just understand the basic premise that you cannot look at exercise out of punishment. Number 2 is food is not a reward. I've heard a lot of people say food is just fuel, and I don't agree with that. Some people say it's just fuel. That's all it is. It's fuel. I don't want to look at food like that because food is it's a big part of our lives on many levels. The biggest one probably being social, right? We go out to eat with family, friends. It's a very, very social thing to eat together. And so if you look at it as strict fuel, it becomes a chore, and it takes a big part of our life away by doing that. And I have seen people, and this is the minority, but I have seen people that literally just focus on their macros or their calories, and they pack, all of their food, and you go out to eat and they either don't eat or they have their own food. Everything revolves around this. And if you're trying to enter a bodybuilding competition or do something like that in the short term, okay. But for 99% of us, it doesn't make sense. And who wants to go out to eat and not eat, or think of something as big and grand as food and everything that it encompasses, and all the history we've had with our family and what mom used to make for breakfast every day before she died, and all family trips or your wedding or whatever. There's so many emotions attached to different foods, different meals, different things, that you have to be able to enjoy that part of your life too. I think that's a terrible idea to take that out of the equation and just say, well, it's just fuel. I need protein, I need carbs, and I need fat. I don't want to live like that, and I don't think most of you do either, and you don't have to. But I don't want you to think of food as a reward either. And this is a big one, guys. And I've seen it many, many times with clients where they start to make some progress. They've been struggling for years. They finally start to make some progress. The scale's moving in the right direction. They finally start to feel better, look better. And they're like, shit, I lost 12 pounds. I'm going to go celebrate. And they go fucking buck wild and use food as a reward. And that becomes a mental, psychological thing for them. And I really believe that it works against you when you start looking at it like, okay, I did this exercise, I did all this hard work, and now I'm going to reward myself with food. Okay? I've seen it really backfire on a lot of people, clients included, where you make a little bit of progress and you get so excited about that, you feel like the best way to reward yourself is by eating the foods that you're not, quote unquote, allowed to eat. So if you're eating well, you're eating clean, you're eating fresh vegetables and a lot of lean meats and eggs and all that stuff, and then you start seeing results, you're like, fuck, I really miss Netflix and chill ice cream. You go out and you start pounding that as your reward. That leads to a very unhealthy relationship with food, and I just think it's a bad idea in general to view that. So rewards are good, absolutely. When you start making progress, you need some kind of incentive, I think, to continue making progress. Sometimes just seeing that little bit of results isn't enough. So yeah, you can go out and celebrate a little bit, however you want to do it. And there's nothing wrong once in a while with having a meal that is quote unquote off of your diet or off your program. But when you start really believing that the junk food, all the junk you've given up, all the crap is the reward for your healthy behavior, then we start running into trouble. So I want you to just think about those two things today. Exercise not being a punishment and food not being a reward. Okay, again, nothing you probably haven't heard before, but it definitely bears repeating because, I've been a coach since 1997, so I guess 25 years, off and on, part-time, full-time, different facilities. And I've seen these two things come up again and again, and I've seen it work really against people. I really haven't seen much benefit from someone saying, I fucking hate exercise, I have to go do it. No, you're not going to do it for long. It's not going to happen. So that's it, guys. Short episode today. Just two things that I really wanted to kind of get out there and get you thinking about. If you have questions about this stuff, anytime, hit me up on social at The Fit Dad Nation. And again, take a look at our groups, The Fit Dad Base Camp, Fit Dad Nation Inner Circle on Facebook. We'll catch up with you next time.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.